Hey everybody, Rob Maurer here, and today we're doing a live episode because I do have to head down to Chicago this afternoon, so I don't have my normal editing time to go through, so we're going to do a live episode here. We've got a few things to go through. Obviously, Elon was tweeting a little bit yesterday about taking the Cybertruck to Giga, Texas, so we're going to take a look at some of those photos and a couple of tweets that Elon had there. Also, no follow-up yet on the Fremont questions that I had asked yesterday. A lot of people in the comments said that inspection that Tesla had failed, probably not a big deal, so kind of what we were thinking in yesterday's episode, but I did just want a quick update on that to start things off. No response there, assuming it's not a big deal, but still a little bit curious if that could cause any minor delays in terms of the refresh. So that's the update there. Then we'll take a look at the Huawei stuff. So I mentioned that yesterday, kind of a joking manner. I do think the comments that were made by the chairman there are still kind of funny, but we do have a little bit more information on that Huawei video. They've released sort of a demo video of what they've done with autonomous driving. So we'll watch that. And then we might have some news here on SpaceX. So in about 15 minutes, NASA is supposed to make an announcement. It sounds like SpaceX is going to be getting the project for the human landing system. So taking astronauts, landing them on the moon from NASA. So we'll take a look at that. Hopefully we can time things out. I'll take a couple of questions at the end of this, and then we'll just roll right into that live stream from NASA, and we can kind of watch that together if you guys want to stick around for that, or obviously, feel free to go and watch their feed directly. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for today. First things first, let's look at the stock here. So as you guys can see, we've been teetering between green and red here to close the day. It looks like right now we're slightly in the red, at down 0.2% to $737.52 versus the NASDAQ, kind of teetering as well, but did edge here into the green over the last half an hour to an hour. So as the episode progresses, I guess we'll see how that progresses and if we end up in the green. All right, so here is the NASA announcement that I mentioned. So they're going to do a live stream today, scheduled for 4 p.m. So that's right at market close, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So again, in about 15 minutes, we'll flip over to that. And I'm hoping I got the audio that we can just roll that right in through. Okay, so then we'll take a look here at the Cybertruck tweets. So a lot of people catching photos of this yesterday, Tesla owners online tweeting a photo of I think from Reddit, the Cybertruck at Giga, Texas. This is the same prototype that we had. You can see let me see if I can zoom in there a little bit. You can see it's still got the door handles. It's still got the yoke steering, so that's nothing new. That was at the Cybertruck unveiling. So this is the same model, but it's nice to see it covered in a little bit of dirt, kind of in its natural element here out at Giga, Texas. So cool to see that. Elon saying yesterday, I was just there driving Cybertruck around the site where it'll be built. Tesla owners online asking, nice, looks like the factory is coming along great. Still on time for some deliveries later this year. So the question there is a little bit vague, but obviously we've got the context here of the Cybertruck. That's clear what the question is asking about, but it doesn't explicitly say that. Elon then answers by saying, limited production of Model Y this year, high volume next year, and then same with Berlin. So a little bit of an omission there in terms of responding about the Cybertruck. There could be a couple of reasons. Elon could be omitting it just because he wants to focus on the fact that Model Y will be out of Cybertruck this year, which is obviously a great accomplishment in terms of the timeline. And we've heard him say a couple of times that, if everything goes well, we could see some deliveries of Cybertruck this year. So it would have been nice to see him kind of reiterate that stance in response to these questions, in response to this question. I think that's, what Tesla owners online here was asking. But Elon shifted it over to Model Y. So he could be doing that because he's not feeling like the Cybertruck is going to be out this year, at least in high enough volume to even mention. Or he could be doing it to, keep the attention on products that Tesla actually sells, which would right now be the Model Y. So we'll see. We don't really know what the plan for the Model Y from Giga, Texas is either, in terms of whether it's going to use initially the 2170 cells from Nevada, or if it is going to be 4680s, like obviously we expect the Cybertruck to be, especially because Tesla has said that the Cybertruck should start with the tri-motor, longest range version over 500 miles, which would be more comparable to, what we kind of expect from certainly at least the refresh vehicles, or, more similar in terms of specs, what we're expecting from the Plaid Plus Model S. So some of that technology could be shared. Tesla obviously looks like they've shifted the Plaid Plus timeline now to mid 2022, although some of the international dates still haven't been updated. So a little bit of uncertainty there. But regardless, it would have been nice to have that reiterated from Elon. We didn't see that. So just want to run through a couple of these photos. As I said, interior here, I know that's not huge, but you can see the yoke steering wheel. So again, that was on the prototype, which I believe this is the same vehicle at the unveiling. So nothing new there. Not surprising since we've now seen that show up in the refresh model S and X. The dash is the same dash, but they had sort of a marble paper overlay on that before. Looks like they've kind of just taken that off. Probably wasn't something we really expected to see in that final production version anyway. I didn't actually mind it. It was kind of like a nice contrast to the sheer, I don't know, grunginess of the Cybertruck. It was just a little bit different. But yeah, I think that's probably gone for good now. Anyway, a couple other photos here that I'll just click on just so you guys can see. I'm sure most of you saw these on Twitter. And then we had Elon. He gave some sort of a speech. Haven't really heard too much of what's come from that. And a couple people commenting on Elon's new hairstyle there too, which I don't mind. I think it looks, obviously it's windy out there and stuff, so it's probably blowing around, but new look. So there's Vincent here. So those were from on Warbeck. And then here's Vincent sharing a couple other ones. You can see these a little bit better, widescreen format. So Elon giving his address there. And yeah, again, these are the same vehicle that we saw. I don't know, guys. Seeing the Cybertruck in this element, like on this dirt, very Mars vibes. I think it looks great. I've, since the beginning, I've always, since the unveiling, at first it shocks you, but later that night, I've been fully on board with the Cybertruck. I think as you continue to see it in more environments, as you see it drive by and drive away from you, it looks just better and better. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. So couldn't be more excited about the Cybertruck. The only real view that I don't like of the Cybertruck, and we'll see if there are any, is like straight on from the rear. That's kind of my only complaint with it, but can't win every single angle. So all right, so then just want to show quickly, there were a couple posts here on Instagram. People may have not seen these ones. So from Tesla, and they had a video here of the Cybertruck driving around, which again, like once you see it in action, it's kind of like nothing else. And this is a great video. I love it because you've got this other pickup truck here in the foreground, so you can kind of compare. So I'll play that again. Just compare the Cybertruck to the, looks like maybe a Dodge Ram there. Yeah, just kind of fun to see those side by side, the juxtaposition there. All right, so that kind of wraps up the Cybertruck stuff. Let's move into Huawei. And it looks like Tesla is now flipped back to green. We'll keep an eye on that. But the Huawei stuff, so Huawei, they're not planning at this point to do their own electric vehicle, but they're planning to provide the autonomous driving technology for other automakers, specifically EV makers. So that's what they've kind of been talking about over the last couple of days. So just a few articles here kind of providing some of those details. It sounds like they're going to be unveiling a vehicle on April 17th during the Shanghai Motor Show. So that'll be this weekend. Might actually even be later this evening, since this is in Shanghai, for those of us in the US, depending on the time of day, that could actually be later tonight. So we'll keep an eye out here for more information. Again, as I said in the intro, kind of had to laugh a little bit at Huawei's chairman yesterday saying, his engineers said that they got 1,000 miles uninterrupted with no interventions. So they're definitely better than Tesla. Had to chuckle at that a little bit, but it does look like Huawei here is doing pretty well. So before we even watch this video, and we're going to kind of watch, this is like a 7-minute long video of them demoing their technology. Before we even watch this, all the obvious disclaimers, this is a demo video. Huawei is using LiDAR, so that's a key difference from Tesla. I did have this other article I wanted to show. It sounded like, so Huawei is making their own LiDARs. It sounds like they're, for whatever reason, trying to offer this in 3 different configurations. So one with single LiDAR, 2 LiDAR, 3 LiDAR. That's a little bit confusing to me for why they would need different packages there. If you're trying to keep the cost down, obviously you want less hardware, but if it's not going to be fully autonomous, then I don't know, kind of what's the point of it? So A little bit confusing in terms of the structure. Hopefully we'll get more information on that this weekend. They did also say, I'm trying to find which article it was in here. Yeah, maybe I don't still have that up. Anyway, they did say that the LiDARs that Huawei is producing themselves, they're trying to get that cost down to $200, maybe eventually to $100. So this is still a relatively expensive part, especially if they're planning on including three different LiDARs on their vehicle. That being said, I did see a couple of tweets. I haven't verified this myself, but it did sound like this Arc Fox vehicle is going to be a relatively affordable vehicle. I think I saw $36,000. Again, we'll just have to wait for a little bit more information there. But if they're able to get technology like this in a vehicle at that price, we'll have to, that's definitely going to be something that's interesting to keep an eye on. And I saw that they're also, in terms of compute, looks like they're at like 352 teraops. So definitely some pretty heavy compute. But again, we'll have to see how, power efficient that is, how cost efficient. So all those disclaimers, a lot to still figure out here. But I did just want to take a look at this, especially with the joke that I had made yesterday. I think the audio is going to come through here. Yeah. So let me just make sure that that's not too loud. Yeah. The audio is probably not really adding much, so I'm going to turn the audio off there. So you can see this is, I think that most of this drive is hands-free. This is not a straight 7-minute clip. I think the Huawei CEO did say that they were getting 1,000 miles without intervention in city driving. I find that claim a little bit difficult to believe, but the performance here does seem pretty good. So, nothing too different here from what Tesla would be doing. You can see a very similar setup in terms of the user interface there. So this is going to be a left turn here, but it's not. Okay, so I was going to say it does have a lead car there, but it looks like it doesn't. The lead car turned off into a U-turn. I don't know why that's popping up. So we'll speed this up maybe here a second. So it takes that left-hand turn pretty well. You can see the driver still has not, you can see the pedals down there. You can see the steering wheel here. They're stopping for the pedestrians. I believe they showed up on the user interface there. It's a little bit difficult to see. This part of the drive is a little bit, more standard, so we'll speed up through this. Could probably skip through some of this as well. Really no major points worth watching there. I think we've got another left-hand turn coming here, but we might have a lead car. And again, we're still at 2x speed here. So it looked like maybe a little bit of a risky turn there. I'm not sure exactly what the traffic regulations were there. I just want to go back though. It looks like they may have caused that other driver to stop right here. So maybe not the best turn logic there. But where this did do really well, and we'll get there in maybe 30 seconds from now, looked like it was performing really well in a very dense traffic situation with a lot of bikers, scooters, things like that around. And that should be coming up here in a second. Pretty standard right-hand turn here. Again, it looks like it's operating pretty smoothly. Turns in the right lane, then shifts back. Okay, waits for that U-turn. Oh, we get a random cut there. So I'm not sure if that's just in this video or if that was in all these. Okay, we got another left-hand turn. Well, we're going straight. They were turning left, so we got to stop there. I'm going to slow it back down to 1x speed here. This, you can see from the watch time, there's like a lot of viewers watching this part in particular. Very dense street. Again, you have the scooters on the right-hand side, kind of just this guy randomly popping up in the middle. And it seems to have a pretty solid, very robust understanding of its surroundings here. This is, a difficult situation even for a human driver to be in. Again, no interventions here. Scooters going the wrong way again, which I'm sure is very common. So I was pretty impressed with that performance. Again, as I said at the beginning, I think that's, all the key points there. This is a demo. They are using LiDAR. This is probably high definition mapped. Not that I don't think that would have a big role in terms of what they just navigated right there at the end. But it is interesting in the sense of what they're able to visualize on the screen, that they were able to handle this traffic scenario. And again, this is from a newer sort of player in the space from Huawei. I don't know the entire background, but at least that's my understanding in terms of, where they've been so far. So I don't think they've probably accumulated a lot of data yet. They do have, my understanding is that Huawei has sanctions where they are not going to be able to obviously do anything like this in the US. And I think even outside of China, they're restricted to kind of just operating in China right now. I'll have to check on that, but that's kind of my understanding of the situation. So it's not necessarily a huge competitive threat, but a lot of these comments were, pretty positive on Huawei. I don't think they're going to translate here. It's probably going to be tough to kind of glean what's going on there, but I did have a listener that's helped me translate some of that stuff, and the comments definitely slanted more positively towards Huawei here than what they did for Tesla. And obviously Tesla, the full self-driving beta is working pretty well in the US, but Elon Musk said on the last conference call that they're just, they're not selling a lot of full self-driving packages in China yet. I think he said 1 or 2%. So just because, we covered this a little bit yesterday, kind of at a surface level, I wanted to go through this video. I was pretty impressed by it. We'll see what Huawei announces over this weekend. And then we'll continue to keep an eye on this. And I do think it's something that's, worth considering and taking seriously. Not that I view it as necessarily a huge competitive threat, especially internationally to Tesla, but could be a threat in China. So we're coming up on, I think, a minute away from close here. Looks like we're gonna maybe end in the green. We'll have to watch that. And then shortly after that, we should have the NASA announcement. So let me pop into the chat here as well. Hopefully that all worked out okay. Thanks for those of you that are giving likes. Appreciate that. We only got 1 dislike so far. Guess the audio's working okay then. Yeah, so Ethan makes a good point here. They're not going to post a video that shows errors, certainly. So that's the whole point of this, disclaimer of this being a demo video. This is very, very different than Tesla having, a couple thousand people driving around with FSD beta and being able to post videos about that on YouTube. This is a very, very different context than that. All right, so we closed, we're green, up 0.1% on the day. Let's pop over here into the NASA announcement and see if that's going live yet. Yeah, so not too surprising there. Let me make sure this is centered for you guys. Okay. And you guys are going to have to let me know.
Hi, I'm Kathy Leaders, and I have the really cool job of being the head of NASA's human spaceflight. We have some very exciting news to share with you about the Artemis program. In 2020, NASA selected 3 American companies to build human landing systems in order to inspire innovation and support the growing lunar economy. Later today, NASA is going to announce the team that won the competition to build the lander that will take astronauts to the moon. This is a really big deal because people haven't been to the moon in about 50 years. The best thing about competitions is that they bring different people and teams together to think about challenges or problems in new ways. That's why we ask students across the country to compete in our Artemis Moon Pod Essay Contest. We asked students from grades K through 12 a similar question. How would you design a mission to the moon? I have to tell you, those essays we got back are truly inspiring. Today, you get to hear from the finalists. Thank you to the teachers who organized this activity in your classroom, and all of the brilliant students who wrote an essay. and for sharing your lunar exploration dreams with us. We are doing everything we can to make them come true.
Greetings from the Artemis Base Camp. This is the commander reporting on our first day, along with my strong, determined, well-trained, curious, and optimistic team of 4 members.
My crew is going to have astronauts, who are doctors, mechanics, and scientists. Each astronaut is a team player, who's calm and can make good decisions.
An expedition to the moon South Pole, the BEST. Best team consists of Barbara, Elizabeth, Steve, and Tom.
This mission will put to test our field-leading abilities and years of bonded friendship to establish a permanent research facility on the moon's South Pole powered by Krusty.
My top priority would be analyzing the water deposits of the permanently shattered craters. Water is essential for drinking, fuel, cooling machinery, and growing plants, making it the most important commodity on our moon.
A system of solar panels can be set up around a crater that receives constant sunlight to power both a BrickoBot and a brick-baking solar oven.
Thus, an observatory could probe deep space without light interference from the Earth. Since the moon has no atmosphere to diffuse it, the light from the sun would have little effect on stargazing.
Using our comprehensive and diverse skill set, we will provide a practical tool that will change lunar exploration forever.
Embarking on this incredible adventure, I couldn't help but be grateful to be given this opportunity to lead the most remarkable crew and to know I was a part of the Artemis generation.
Hello, I'm astronaut Randy Bresnik, and I just wanted to say great job to all the essay contest finalists. It is truly inspiring to hear young people thinking about the future of space exploration. All of us at NASA were once kids just like you, imagining what it would be like to go into space, to walk in space, to walk on the moon, or build the next generation of great spacecraft, which is what we're doing right now. Big dreams like those aren't easy to achieve. It takes teams across the country and around the world working together to make it all possible. We're counting on all of you to dream big and join us in continuing being creative, working hard, and keep working together. This is an amazingly exciting time for the Artemis program. For you, for me, for all of us in the Artemis generation. This is our time. So keep watching to find out which human landing system design or designs will be continuing forward in the developmental process, and follow at NASA Artemis on social media for all the latest updates. Go Artemis.
The importance of landing humans back on the moon is we're going back in a way that is totally different. We've had almost 60 years of experience, and we're taking every single ounce of experience we have and taking that with our international partners, with our commercial partners.
We've been working for the last year with 3 partners who will help us achieve the next human mission to the moon. Because we know that this first step to the moon will then lead us to go to Mars. And we know that the human landing system is one of the first steps to get us there. And so we've been working with Dynetics, Alido's company. We've been working with Blue Origin, who have partners of Draper, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman. In addition, we've also been working with SpaceX.
This is a very, very exciting time for the Human Landing System program. They've spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over this last couple years getting ready for this moment.
We're really excited to bring you the announcement of who NASA is going to continue to finish out the Human Landing System and take humans back to the moon. NASA has chosen SpaceX to return us to the moon. I am so excited to partner with SpaceX in this fantastic endeavor for the Artemis suite of missions. So congratulations to the SpaceX team.
The SpaceX design is a single-stage solution using their Starship. It provides extensive volume for the crew with 2 airlocks and ample down mass capability. The SpaceX proposal included in-space propellant transfer demonstration and uncrewed test landing.
So now that we've selected our partner, and for the next phase going forward, we have to make sure that the testing occurs, because we're not going to launch humans until we have a successful test. So we will be working to make sure that the design and everything that we have going forward so far is ready to go.
So the Human Landing System is going to allow us to be able to access different parts of the lunar surface. But it also allows us to explore a new technology and capabilities that will help us when we are trying to figure out our next round of technologies to be able to help us land on Mars or other planets out there.
I'd like to thank the companies for the great work this past year. We've all learned a lot. I'd like to thank the NASA team, because you have definitely risen to this challenge.
It is one more step and an exciting group of steps that will get us to a sustainable human landing system to the moon.
All right, so to nobody's surprise, SpaceX selected. Not sure if this is going to continue. I'm going to mute the audio here. So we'll see. I did want to flip over here to something that I had seen on Reddit. So obviously this was, Washington Post had leaked this a little bit earlier. No big surprise that SpaceX has been selected here, but really great news for the company and very exciting for, Elon Musk and the rest of his organizations as well. So let me flip to what I had seen on Reddit. I believe, I'm not sure if this was shared on Washington Post or not, but let me move myself here so you guys can see it all. So this was what I had seen, again, as a summary of the sort of rating factors, technical and management, ratings as assessed by the team. So it looks like SpaceX was rated acceptable on technical factors, same as Blue Origin. Dynetics was rated as marginal, and then Blue Origin and Dynetics rated as very good on management, and SpaceX as outstanding. It sounds like SpaceX's total price here for this contract would be just shy of $3 billion, which was the lowest of the offers by a wide margin. Blue Origin was significantly higher than this. They don't say exactly here. And then Dynetics significantly higher than Blue Origin's. So kind of some good extra little details there. Let's flip back here and see if there's anything. Yeah, so it sounds like there is. I'll put the audio back on here.
My name is Monica Witt, a public affairs officer with the NASA's Office of Communication, and I am joined here with NASA's acting administrator, Steve Jerzik, Kathy Leaders, the Associate Administrator for the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate, Mark Kirasich, Deputy Associate Administrator for Advanced Exploration Systems, Lisa Watson-Morgan, the Human Landing System Program Manager, and Tyler Cochran, the Human Landing System Contracting Officer. Each speaker will make brief remarks, and then we will open the lines for questions from the media. For the reporters on the line, when it's time for questions, press *1 to get into the queue and ask a question. Please remember to state your name and media affiliation before you speak and address the speaker who you'd like to answer your question. Please ask one question and address one speaker at a time. You may enter the queue again and ask additional questions afterward. First, we will hear from Acting NASA Administrator Steve Jerzik. Steve?
Not sure what's going on.
Monica, it looks like Steve's line has disconnected.
Steve, come on.
Thank you.
So I'll watch
That's
for them to call back in. Oh, I think I might have them. One moment. They're calling back. I apologize.
Well, while they're trying to track Steve down, I don't know that I'll sit through the whole media teleconference here. Again, I do have to go here somewhat soon. So again, if you guys want to flip over to the actual stream, just search for their channel is called NASA Video.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Steve Jerzik. I'm excited to be here today to provide an update on our Artemis program. For the last year, NASA has continued to move our programs and missions forward while keeping our workforce healthy and safe. And like all organizations, it's been a real challenge, but I've been real proud of our workforce and our partners and what we've been able to accomplish. Less than a year ago, we had the first launch of American astronauts from American soil with the Demo 2 mission in almost a decade, followed by the Crew 1 mission in November, and the Crew 2 mission is set to launch April 22nd, Thursday of next week. Really proud of the NASA SpaceX team. We continued safe and productive operations of the International Space Station. We had the launch and landing of the Perseverance rover, and we're currently preparing for the first powered flight on another planet with the Ingenuity helicopter. These and many other accomplishments are a testimony to the talent, hard work, and dedication of the NASA workforce, along with our industry and international partners, and I could not be more proud of our team. The U.S. leads in space exploration now, but more and more countries are taking aim at the moon. We have a strong plan to get astronauts back on the moon under the Artemis program, and we're excited about these next steps. We are working diligently with our partners to ensure we meet our national goals of landing the next American astronauts on the moon as quickly and safely as possible. At least one of those astronauts will make history with this lander as the first woman on the moon, a historic first. Additionally, the first person of color will also walk on the moon as part of the Artemis program. Part of our mission is inspiration, and we are inspiring the Artemis generation, and we won't stop at the moon. NASA's long-term goal has always been to send humans to Mars, which is rich in discovery, and the moon is a natural stepping stone to getting us there. The Artemis lunar landing is a key piece to our moon to Mars strategy. Targeting the soonest possible launch date will better focus our engineering, technology development, and processes to safely and successfully establish sustainable lunar exploration and prepare for Mars. The next lunar landing will drive discoveries in science and technology, support the emerging deep space economy, and maintain strategic national leadership in space. We believe that turning to the moon is strategically important with numerous rewards and benefits, and we should accomplish the next landing as soon as possible. Today is a big step forward in that we are announcing a key capability we need to return astronauts to the surface of the moon for the first time since 1972, a modern human landing system. This is an incredible time to be involved in human exploration for all humanity. We have a lot of information to get through today, so I'm going to turn it back over to Monica to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Steve. Next, we will hear from Kathy Leaders, the Associate Administrator for the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate at NASA. Kathy?
Thanks again for being here. You know, when Steve asked me to take on this job last year, I knew there'd be a lot of exciting missions going on, but once again, you guys get to hear today about another exciting milestone that we have in progress for human spaceflight and exploration under now the Artemis program. You know, the human landing system is a vital part of NASA's deep space exploration plans. And the human landing system joins our other parts, NASA's Space Launch System, the Orion spacecraft, and the Gateway Lunar Outpost, and really completes then the foundation of NASA's lunar exploration program. These are all vital parts of NASA's deep space exploration plans, and we've seen a lot of recent success with so many of these components. So let me go through a few things here. Just recently, the core stage of NASA's Space Launch System, the most powerful rocket the agency has ever built, completed a full-duration green run hot fire test. This was a critical milestone ahead of the agency's Artemis 1 mission, which will send an uncrewed Orion spacecraft on a test flight around the moon and back to Earth, and which will pave the way for our future Artemis missions to the lunar surface. I always say that Artemis 1's our shakedown cruise. It's where we're making sure that the vehicle is all checked out before we next put crews on that mission. Additionally, in the last year, we made agreements to collaborate on the Gateway Lunar Outpost with 3 international partners and have a number of commercial contributions on the Gateway. NASA is showing everyone we have what it takes, but we're not doing it alone. It's very important for us that we do it as a team with both our international partners and our industry partners. So our goal 50 years ago was to prove we could land humans on the moon and return them safely to Earth. And this time our goal is to return to the moon in a sustainable way, to gain insight and bring back lessons that will help propel us into greater exploration that's never been done before. And we're doing it different in a lot of ways this time. Our efforts will draw on insight and effort from across America, serving as an unparalleled and inspiring example of what humanity can do when it comes together to achieve a common goal for the common good. We bring together the capabilities and resources of our international and commercial partners to return to the moon and then go on to Mars. And we will demonstrate to young people around the world the power of a unified purpose. We're also doing with crews that are more diverse than ever before. Near and dear to my heart, we are sending a woman, like Steve said, to the surface of the moon on this lander. Representing the diversity of the American public will mean a lot for those out there who will be watching. We'll show them you can land on the moon, and this is what an astronaut looks like. So we're hoping to not only get a woman on the moon, but as we're bringing our future missions on, also getting a person of color on the moon so all of us can see ourselves on the moon. We are grateful for the contributions and commitments from all of our commercial and international partners. NASA's Apollo program proved it is possible to land humans on the moon and return them safely to Earth. But when NASA returns to the moon with the Artemis program, it will go in a way that reflects the world today with government, industry, international partners in a global effort to build and test the systems needed for challenging missions to Mars and beyond. So I'm going to turn it over to Monica because I think there's some news that's coming up for us.
Thank you, Kathy. So next, we will hear from the HLS Program Manager, Lisa Watson-Morgan, who has some exciting news about the U.S. company that's building the Artemis human lander. Lisa?
Thanks, Monica. Yeah, it's a real honor to be part of the NASA team working toward our Artemis mission and to lead the incredible and resilient HLS team across the agency that's spread all across the country with U.S. industry to bring us to this very exciting step today. I'd like to personally thank each of the teams, each of the companies that have been with us in this endeavor. The Blue Origin-led team, the Dynetics team, Alida's company, and the SpaceX team. Your leadership teams and host of personnel executing during this amazing 11 months has been really wonderful. The HLS team developed outstanding relationships with each of the partner companies during this 11-month period. And each company provided unique strengths during the base period. We moved rapidly, and we achieved milestones that got us closer and closer to our goal of a human lunar landing. We worked through technical and safety standards to include health and medical requirements for the crew. Each design was different, which was really exciting to see. And during the base period of performance over the last several months, we were looking to see what industry partners could bring to NASA with respect to innovation for a modern human landing system. NASA encouraged offers to propose those innovative solutions performing crewed lunar demonstration missions. Throughout the procurement, NASA and the base period contractors have been working towards reliable and economical solutions to meet our goals. NASA personnel supported each partner, providing design support, analysis, subject matter experts, and testing. NASA had this inline team working alongside each partner, which helped us to move faster. This collaborative relationship will continue as we move into this Option A period of performance. And NASA will continue to work closely with our selected partner to build the first commercial HLS. NASA is providing insight throughout this development and is ensuring that this system will be safe for our astronauts. In addition, NASA is requiring a test flight to fully check out all systems with a landing on the lunar surface prior to our formal demonstration mission. As you know, that Option A demonstration mission is where we take humans to the surface and return them safely so that Orion can return them back safely to Earth. So we want to make sure that everything is checked out and everything is ready prior to that. So today, I'm very excited, and we are all very excited to announce that we have awarded SpaceX to continue the development of our integrated human landing system. SpaceX Starship is a fully reusable launch and landing system designed for travel to the moon and other future destinations. It's a single-stage crewed landing system. It utilizes Earth orbit refueling of liquid oxygen and liquid methane propellants. The system leans on the company's tested Raptor engines, flight heritage of the Falcon and Dragon.
All right, guys, I think we know a lot of this stuff, so if you guys want to hop over to their channel and listen to the rest of it, definitely feel free to do that. Maybe I'll take just a couple of questions here on Tesla, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm going to flip over and see if there's been any big after hours movement. Guessing probably not. And we'll take a look at volume here quick too. Yeah, completely flat after hours. Well, I guess down 3 cents, 3 pennies. For the volume today, again, pretty low. I think you guys can see that. Yeah, so pretty similar volume as to yesterday. 27.5 million shares. Nothing too crazy, pretty quiet. So next week we'll head into pre-earnings week, I would expect. You know, probably not the hugest volume next week either. Trying to think back to when last earnings would have been. I think it was January 20-something. Probably the 25th. So the week prior we didn't have too crazy a volume. Yeah, so I wouldn't expect anything too crazy next week. Probably pretty similar to what we saw this week. Maybe a couple of bigger days, and then probably hang out in the 20 million share kind of level still. Okay, let me see if there were any chats here. lot of people with strong opinions in the comments today. Oh, the other topic that I meant to mention that I haven't yet. So Tesla did lower prices in New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland. Let's see here. So I did want to take a look at how that would be influenced by currency changes. So it looks like the Australian dollar has been, let's see. Yeah, so right now 1 Australian dollar is 77 US cents versus last year at this time we would have been at 63 cents. So I always have trouble converting foreign exchange rates in my head, but I think the likely difference here is I'm guessing it's exchange rate based, although it looks like a little bit probably less so in Switzerland. We've actually seen the year-over-year decline there. But did just want to call out that we have seen those price drops in a few international countries. Looked like maybe 5 to 10% in some cases. Okay. Okay, so just really quick. Oh, Kyle, I've seen you ask this a couple times. Oh, that was didn't mean to put that chat up, but Rob, do you own any Dogecoin? I actually do own a little bit of Dogecoin, and I actually bought some today. Embarrassingly. I feel like it was kind of silly for someone that follows Elon Musk so closely to not make a small gamble on Dogecoin. I don't view Dogecoin necessarily as like an investment, but I think you guys know that sometimes I like to do just a little bit of trading in a small part of my portfolio. So that's kind of, you know, how I view Doge, and I probably should have been doing that a little bit earlier. Elon Musk has been obviously tweeting about it nonstop, so that's definitely not an endorsement. There's a lot. Yeah, we could talk a lot about that. I don't know that there's a ton of. There's nothing unique to Dogecoin that would make it, you know, any better than any other cryptocurrency, other than the meme factor, which I guess you could apply as a unique characteristic. And I think that actually has some validity in today's environments. So it's interesting. We may spend a little bit more time talking about it. It's never going to be like the focus of the podcast. So I was joking around with a few friends yesterday and today that I might just quit Tesla daily and start Doge daily. But yeah, for those of you that haven't seen, it's gone from, you know, 4 cents per Dogecoin to we're probably like 35 cents now in the last couple of weeks. So it's been kind of crazy. It has like a $30+ billion market cap. Just a couple of quick like fundamental factors of it. I think there's like 130, I want to say million. Yeah. 130 billion Dogecoin out there, and there's 5 billion new Dogecoin minted every year. So it has some of it has that new currency constantly being added, but it becomes a smaller part of the total pool of Dogecoin over time. And I bought it on Robinhood. You know, everyone has strong feelings about that, but yeah. So that's the thought on Doge. I meant to put, I don't know, I think Kyle had asked something about, yeah, the total addressable market. Kyle, longtime Patreon supporter, appreciate that. So TAM, total addressable market for Project Dojo, honestly, no idea. I think, you know, a lot of people have wisely pointed out that, and this is a train of thought that I agree with, Dojo can someday be somewhat comparable to AWS, and obviously AWS has done massive been a massive factor in terms of Amazon's business growth. And it's where they earn, I believe, a majority of their actual net income, even though it's obviously not the majority of their revenue. So I think that's kind of how I view Dojo too, is it may not be like the biggest revenue area for Tesla, but the margins on that should be very, very, very strong, just like AWS. So yeah, I don't know the TAM. It's something I have to look at a little bit more closely. And honestly, I don't think anyone probably knows the TAM, because this is it's an area of the market that will still be being developed for, a long time, which is great because that means you get a higher multiple on that business line because there's so much opportunity for growth. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Sorry, these live streams, I don't know, this was kind of a mess, but hopefully that was okay. I did just want to get it started before we had that NASA announcement. Again, congratulations to SpaceX, super exciting. Not necessarily unexpected, but it was no certainty that SpaceX was going to get this contract or be selected for this project. So, I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more in the coming days. Maybe there will be some recaps of what NASA's going through on that call there post the announcement. And yeah, we'll see next week. We've got the Crew Dragon Demo 2, I believe, on Thursday, super early morning in the US, 10, 11 a.m. UTC. So keep an eye out for that. And again, hopefully we'll see SN15 next week too. So, and then of course, we're going to be leading up to earnings. A couple things to keep an eye out from me for my schedule next week. I'm doing a discussion on Tesla for the Benzinga Small Cap and Clean Technology Conference next week on Thursday. That'll be at 8:05 a.m. Central Time, 9:05 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. So that'll be, hopefully after the demo, the Crew Dragon launch. So keep an eye out for that. I'll tweet about it next week. That'll be Thursday. I'll do an earnings preview sometime. Honestly, it might end up being next weekend. Depends when I can get through all my forecasts and stuff. And then, of course, we have earnings the following Monday on the 26th after market close. So I'll be doing a stream of the earnings call and, that usual process for earnings. So going to be an exciting week and following week. And so that'll wrap it up for today. As always, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit like. And I'll see you guys next time for the Monday, April 19th episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.